Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ZombiesLvBacon podcast, coming at you live from Pax Australia with a special edition. I am your host, ZombiesLvBacon, and I'm joined today by Shelby, our co-host.
As always, I am always here.
And we also have some special guests. Let's start with Aaron.
What's up, guys? My name is Aaron. I am a Australian content creator based in Melbourne. I do variety content, everything from music to gaming, so if you want to see me chat all the time, then you know where to find me at twitch.tv/MDVaaron.
Man, you even got the plug in there. It's wild.
You sound so prepared and professional compared to the rest.
We are also joined by Logan.
Hi, hey, and g'day to all of the guys, gals, and non-binary pals. I am Logan, and I've been invited here today to this podcast. This is like my first ever podcast, so I'm actually really stoked to be here talking to all of you. And like everyone here, I'm also an online content creator at LHP64D on any platform.
Hell yeah. I mean, that is well done. Well done, guys. The amount of times that we do any kind of talking to content creators and I don't really know how to do the plugging. You guys nailed it. It's like, this is my spill, this is what I do, this is where I'm from, and this is where you can find me.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I think what helps is definitely the Twitch streaming side of things, because when you get raids, and I raid out at every end of my stream as well.
Yeah.
You got to know how to do those reads very quickly, just concise information, straightforward, straight to the point.
I've really tried to do that lately, but it's sort of hard when I'm sort of, because I'm a VTuber, and then I'm in the mindset of just I'm a robot. Beep boop.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for so long, I kind of just given up on it. It's like, hey, it's me.
You know me by now.
You just carry on doing whatever weird stuff you're doing on stream at the time.
Well, to be honest, I mean, and let's just talk about it. The last time. So I did a subathon last weekend because it was September, and I'm like, mate, if you can get cheap subs, this is the time to do it. Perfect, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, part of the deal was if I got to midnight, it's unhinged. We call it Zoomies. So we have a PNG tuber of our cat, which I was the cat, and I was just going meow, 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 and just putting up videos of Subway Surfers and Minecraft, and I think we were watching some flex tape at some. People were raiding into my stream and being like, what is going on here?
I think, interesting enough, also after that, because you went to have a nap and you still was doing the subathon, so I actually put on a fake beard and was cosplaying as him. Fake beard, hat on, it was dark lighting, so, it wasn't immediately obvious. And I got raided, and I was introducing myself as you, and then somebody goes, wait a second. It took me a second until you spoke. And I was like, it's that convincing? He's like, you're on a small screen for me. I don't know what to tell you. But
I remember seeing you post that on Twitter, and I was like, you actually make a convincingly lifelike version.
Well, I didn't even realize we got raided. Until the next day, I'm like, oh my God, so many people. Oh no, that was when Shelby was me. It's who's going to explain this to them? So I think, we try to kind of play it off. It's like, no, Shelby's like, it's me. What do you mean? It's not.
I was like, for no reason at all, I'm going to replay the tutorial of this game. I don't know what I'm doing, but.
But yeah, so it's the rating things. You're right. You should definitely have the spill. And I know that there's a few people that do it immaculately, and I'm just like, man, I wish I could be that on script. But sometimes I'm just unhinged, I guess. I don't know if there's not a better way to put it.
But at the same time, I think that goes into the appeal, right? Because ultimately, the whole point of doing a spiel when you get raided is for people to get to know you.
Yeah.
And if you wanna have that goofy, really fun, kind of outgoing personality, best way to often do that is not be really strict and with a script, right? You'll see me oftentimes when I'm playing Valorant or stuff like that, and I get a raid. I'll switch over to the camera and do a proper thing, but I'll always stumble, or I won't have it reading off a script specifically.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna let people know I'm a fun guy. I'm not somebody that just wants to be always super immaculate.
Yeah.
I have this wild knack for being raided while I'm in the middle of the worst fights whatsoever in Cyberpunk, and it was near the end of the game, and I'm getting raided, and I'm just screaming and trying to kill everybody in the level.
She's like, hey, thanks for the raid, but also if you want to know what happens in this game, please leave.
No spoilers. Get out of here.
Don't come in here.
But that's like Final Fantasy XIV as well, right? Final Fantasy XIV is huge on their anti-spoilers.
Yeah.
So you raid in, you have your normal sort of, hey, welcome on in raid message. But if you're playing Final Fantasy XIV, it's like, hey, welcome on in. We're playing Final Fantasy XIV. We're up to this. If you don't want it spoiled, thanks for coming, but get out of here.
Get out of here. Thanks for coming in. Please leave.
Gotta have a disclaimer.
Yeah, it's respecting their gameplay as well,
Yeah, I've started going, if I know that I'm getting close to the end of a game, it's just put in the title. It's spoilers, we're near the end. And I can't remember which game it was. I think it was Final Fantasy 16. And people would come into my chat, it's like, you're nowhere near the end. And I'm like, God damn it. I've been playing for so long, surely. We're close.
But I think there's a Final Fantasy booth here at PAX this weekend. There's like a
almost
collab
certain.
or something?
Yeah, I've seen something about it. I haven't had a chance to walk all the way through PAX just yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be perfectly honest, we came straight here.
We did, yeah. Grabbed our coffee, came here, had more coffee.
I was here for the media hour, and even then, like, I barely absorbed everything that's here to see today.
Let's go around the table. Yeah. How many PAXs have you been to? Because I know that I'm the winner, but that's fine. But Shelby,
this is my fourth, and this is the third time that I've actually gone all 3 days.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
We haven't gone all 3 days
Well,
yet.
I just mean, like, in 2018, I barely say that I went to PAX because I thought PAX was just the exhibition hall. I didn't go to any panels or walk the length of the building. I didn't really go with anybody.
So many people think that. They're like, oh, PAX, yeah, you just go in, there's a heap of booths and you just walk around. But no, there's so much going on.
Because that's actually what a lot of other conventions are, unfortunately, is just like a show floor. So I think that's what my experience was, because before PAX, I'd only ever been to like Supernova, Oz Comic Con, that sort of thing. And then I walk into PAX and I'm just like, well, I don't really know anybody. I don't really know anything about PAX. I wasn't a content creator at the time, barely saw anything. But 2019 was like, I had started to meet people, met you and everything. And then it was like, there's so much going on. I didn't know shit.
Yeah, I mean, last year PAX, particularly for us, well, not so much for you, but for me, I was like, oh man, I didn't give myself any time to do anything. It's like, okay, I finished this commitment, onto the next commitment. This commitment, and like if something ran late, I'm like, all right, well, this is not happening, so I'm just got to go now. We're just going to do something else. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aaron, how many PAXs have you been to?
So this is my second one ever.
Ooh.
It's my third convention ever because DreamHack, where I met you, was my second convention. But PAX, with this one, I came in the first year. And remember what we're talking about with like the afro just gets you anywhere.
Yes.
The afro is a high-vis vest and a ladder mixed into like a personality trait.
Yeah.
Because not only did my first pack end up being me hanging out with the Yamaha guys last year, but they invited me back to perform at the Yamaha booth last year from the Friday to the Sunday.
So wild.
So that was a little thing that I ended up doing, and then lo and behold comes across to this year. I get a bunch of messages when the PAX tickets roll out, and they're like, "Dude, check the website. Dude, check the website. Do that." I'm like, okay, what could I possibly get? I get to the page. They put me as a Saturday pass for the PAX website, even though it was my first PAX ever going to it. And I was just like, I don't know how I get so lucky with all these like little things.
Just for context, Logan, right? I met Aaron because he was in the line and he met someone else and he's just like, I'm gonna hang out with you today. And then he just came to our panel at DreamHack. And then he's like, I'm the photographer. And they're like, yeah, cool. And he came in, and then he came down to the stage for that panel with us. He just had a general pass. He was just hanging out.
I had a general pass. So this is what happened. So DreamHack obviously is my first convention I was ever going to by myself, right? So I went up to the gate, and I got there really early. If you don't know, I usually get to like conventions or venues like 30 minutes to an hour before the venue starts, right? So I was sitting there outside an hour before DreamHack even started. There was no staff there. It was just empty. So I'm sitting there, and I eventually go, oh, well, at least some people are rocking up. So I walk up to the gate, and then Pastor Scar, one of the people that we'll be hanging out with our collaboration, we'll talk about that later, goes, oh, hey, what's up? Are you a content creator as well? I'm like, yes, of course I am. And we end up having a bit of a chat. And he sees that I have the camera, and he's like, well, I might actually need some help with some photography later. And I'm like, perfect. I can help you with that photography later. So I end up tagging with him and going backstage of DreamHack without any passes.
Yep.
Shout out DreamHack, please give me a pass next year.
But you literally high-vis vested your way in.
Yeah, high-vis vest my way in.
Yeah.
And the best part is I didn't have the camera equipped the whole time. It was in my inventory at some point, you know? Like, I just had that in the back pocket. Walk up to a security guard. Oh, what's up? Got my camera. So, I don't know. I feel like you get yourself...
If you talk about the fact that... Okay, so that's how it started, right? And then we do the panel and everything at DreamHack. We all vibe. It's awesome. And then afterwards, Aaron's like, oh, man, I'd love to do a panel sometime. Like, just do it. Let's do it. And then you're like, oh, okay. And then he he messaged everyone that was on that panel. He's like, let's do another one at PAX. Anyway, so the panel's tomorrow.
Yep.
And there's people that have been in content creation for years, have been coming to PAX for years, and man, I really wish I could host a PAX. Aaron's hosting a panel. Second PAX.
Second
do
PAX.
it.
The best thing that you can do for like any opportunity is just go for it and send if you want to do something, do it. Send it hard, right?
Yep.
You don't want to half-ass it. pardon my French. But the main thing that I was kind of, I think one of the main things that did help me, which you don't know because I don't really talk about it on stream or on my online content creation side of things, is that I've been a performer and a business owner since I was really, really, really young. My mom got me at the age of 10 to go to actual conferences with her, and I work as her personal photographer. So I would work with media people. I talked to people from SBS and got my connections and stuff like that. And I think that definitely helped my mindset into where I am now, where I'm 20 and I'm running panels and I have an event coming up in November and all this and that. Because I realized if I want something to happen, the best way to get it to happen is for me to just do it.
100%.
That sort of reminds me of when there's that joke about applying for jobs and, they want somebody who is young but has 10 years experience. So we got him.
Right there.
Yeah, he's right here. Yeah.
I try to, yeah. And I also think it's just, I have really, really ambitious goals for the future. So if I don't start just putting my all into everything that I want to do, then it's never going to happen,
Yeah.
So,
100%.
I think the funniest thing is when you're a content creator and you start putting yourself out there and you start posting about things, and then people will ask you and be like, how did you do that? Why are you doing that? How did they find you? Because you're just jumping on it, just doing it.
Yeah. I mean, Logan, this is how many packs is for you?
This is about my 6th. I think.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why I contacted you, and I'm like, someone for the podcast. 'Cause I said to Shelby, I said, we need someone high energy and interesting, right? And Aaron's just got a really nice voice. Let's be honest.
yes, sir.
But so and I didn't want to get these are the same people that come. I wanted to mix things up a bit, and you don't come to PAX and then just get the regular crew on because we're all here. It's very rare that you get this many content creators in such a confined space. So that's the main reason I invited you on. But you've been smashing it with. Obviously, you got Starfield's been going nuts. That's just been I mean, if you ever ask who the Starfield hype man is, we know.
You're just always on my feed now. Every day, all the time.
They definitely paid you a lot of money, right?
So much. No, so first of all, I really do appreciate the invite. And to actually continue the flow of that conversation, just shoot your shot. So in terms of working with Bethesda over Starfield, I also work with Blizzard for World of Warcraft. And the way I got that is I shot my shot. I DM'd Blizzard's Twitter account, and I was just like, hey, I'm not asking to be put on the launcher because they have this really cool thing where they actually put creators on the launcher.
And it's like the dream for Blizzard creators.
Yes.
Yeah,
it is.
Sick.
Yeah, they do. And so I didn't say, put me on the launcher. I said, what can I do to get there?
Yep.
I need to know the game plan so I can start moving there. And then they were basically like, hey, so meet this criteria, do a trial, and we say yay or nay. And the rest just followed. And so that's how I got it. I shot my shot.
Yeah.
And now you go into BlizzCon.
Yeah.
That's
which is
insane.
wild.
BlizzCon's in less than 3 weeks now.
All the conventions worldwide are just packed together in this time of year, unfortunately. So it's hectic.
Well, you think about
South
it.
by Southwest.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're spot on. So what is it? South by Southwest, is that next weekend?
Yeah, that's next weekend.
Yeah. And then the weekend after is TwitchCon in Las Vegas, and then the weekend after that is BlizzCon.
I know somebody's doing PAX South by Southwest and
no, it's impossible.
TwitchCon.
We can't do it. That's too much.
I would have loved to have tried.
I would die.
I would try.
On from shooting your shot though, this year I had my first brand deal.
Yeah.
And it was because I went up to them and was like, hey, I like you. I basically,
I love
and
that.
the funny thing about being a VTuber is a lot of brands don't know how to work with a VTuber because it's just it's a 3D character on screen or something. I don't know how to work with you. I'm like, all right, here's my proposal. I wrote a whole massive document. I'm just like, this is what I can do. This is what I'll deliver, and sent it off. And it was with Thermaltake because I love Thermaltake. I have for a long time loved their cases and designs. And then, I said, I would like to design, I'm redesigning my VTuber and my branding. I would love to integrate it into a PC build because my character is a robot. This is her. If she's a computer, she exists as a computer.
I'd like to just side note real quick. It's crazy that brands don't want to work with VTubers because what's a VTuber model cost? A couple grand?
Couple
grand easily.
They spend money, so much money.
We do. We are big spenders. Mine was free because I'm cheap.
You make it yourself.
I made it myself.
DIY.
DIY.
Okay, so it's either rich or you're talented.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah, who wouldn't want that as being your sponsor?
Yeah, well, the thing is they were like, yep, okay, we're going to give you this case and do your build and everything like that. And it's funny because my VTuber character is modified to actually have the Thermaltake logo on my shoulders. So some people have caught on to that, but it's just like a branding jacket, like a racing jacket, you know. And I think that's quite fun to have that sort of integration. And I wanted to do that to sort of show VTubers as well that you can also do brand deals and brands can also work with VTubers. So I'm hoping that sort of continues. And I also said to them, you know, we'll keep it here as long as I want. And then they were like, okay, yeah, take the logo off whenever you like. So whenever I get the next one, just replace it.
It's time to re-up your contract.
Let's go. But that was a really good experience, and that was purely because I reached out to them, and I know that they were also working with other creators with the same case at the same time. And those people were actually getting paid for it, but they just sent me the case, which was, you know, absolutely what I wanted as like the first thing. And like I was so into it, and I spent thousands of dollars on that build. Like a case was free, thousands of dollars on the build though.
Tell me about it. I just got a second computer myself, preparing for Starfield.
Nice.
And the expense of these machines is just insane.
Yes.
But you were talking about brand deals, and one thing, there's so many different ways to approach a brand deal. And I myself had my first this year as well, which was Bethesda for Starfield. But I didn't so much as approach them as I just shared.
You were already doing the work.
Yeah.
And that's the best advice you can give anyone. Is like, if you want to work with a brand, start doing the work.
Yeah.
Start doing the work.
You know, show them that you can do it. Show them that, and then because they'll just come to you and go, okay, well, what you're doing, we want more of that.
Yeah.
And you know, here's the deal.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the best way. And it's weird that to me when people are like, hey, yo, I'm open to brand deals. It's like, okay.
You can't just tweet that into the void and expect something to happen.
Doesn't happen.
It doesn't. You got to get into some DMs sometimes, you know, especially if you're a smaller creator. Because I think some people were confused when I got the sort of deal that I did, being like, she's not that big. I have, you know, 700-ish followers on Twitch and things, but I have a lot more on TikTok and, you know, sort of Sway and Twitter. And that was enough.
Yeah.
Different platforms.
And it's like a perfect example. All right, we're in the Audio-Technica booth here at Pax.
Yes.
Which was a dream for us when we were doing the podcast, which has been going for like 3 years.
I think last year we were like, I wish it was Audio-Technica.
We were looking at it, like, oh man, that could be us.
Oh, it's so beautiful. It's such a shiny little like bubble podcast in the middle of the show floor.
Yeah, we won't talk about what we did otherwise.
No. OGs will remember. I think it was like 50 episodes ago.
Don't listen to that podcast. It was awful. Anyway, but part of it was that we were like, okay, well, after we saw this, and then, you know, I'm a big fan of like the 8-bit guys and what they do, and they're always talking about Audio-Technica. I'm like, all right, so there's definitely something there. Reached out to them, joined their creator program, which gets you into their Discord, and you meet all these other people that got the same deal. I'm just like, oh man, everything that I'm hearing is like positive. It's like it's always moving forward. It's not just people going, oh man, I wish I could get a free microphone.
I've never heard anyone talk shit about Audio-Technica, which is great.
It's respect, right?
It's respect.
It's respect. It's good. And from that, you know, it just progresses to the point where it's like, okay, well now there's an opportunity. You know, let's reach out to them. Let's do something at PAX, and everything's just been so fantastic. And because like I'm working on obviously the ZLBpodcast, we've done a lot, which we should cover off how that's been. But obviously I've got more projects coming forward as well, which is going to be, you know, around that podcast space and stuff like that. So I want to get into this space and I want to learn a lot more about it and how it all runs and do, you know, be more professional essentially. Yeah. But let's talk for a second, because I think we should just cover this off. Because the last time that we did the podcast, the last thing we said was we had to make good on a promise that we made.
Oh, we did.
Yeah. So
I did not know about this.
Our biggest podcast is the Aliens and Ghosts podcast episode, where we broke down the documents that basically says aliens are real, but no one cares.
I feel like Logan needs a little bit of context here, because the podcast got to a point where people were assuming I was a witch.
Oh.
So then it dissolved into paranormal things.
What do you mean assuming?
There might be a shelf full of bones and crystals in the house, but that's not related.
Okay.
No. Side note to your side note, okay?
All
right. She hid crystals in my house to make me ask her to move in. Like, she actually put a spell on me.
It worked.
It did work.
There you go.
I was cleaning the house. And I'm like, what the hell is this crystal? What is this?
And you thought of her.
No, I just threw it out. No.
He'd actually already asked me to move in at that point. He asked me to move in the day that I hid it in his bed.
Oh,
Yeah.
it works.
So witchcraft, actual witchcraft, but that's not the point. What I was going with before we go into, so we talked about aliens, we talked about ghosts. It was really popular, and I'm like, okay, well that's popping off. We should go Phasmophobia style, go ghost hunting, like for real, in real life,
and sort of make content, for it.
which we didn't do for a long time because that was like episode 27.
It's
we got up to
something
like
hard to
episode
organize as well.
Anyway, we did it.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And there's a whole video out now that you can watch on this ghost hunting experience. We went down to Point Cook
Lee Homestead
with a real life ghost hunter and went ghost hunting.
Wow.
And it was creepy.
It was cold. It was creepy.
Cold.
It was horrifying.
For some reason in my brain, I'm like, oh, it's like a tour thing. We'll go there at 7 p.m. and we'll be done by 10.
No.
No. It started at 11 p.m. and it went all night. And the stories they told us.
We met a really great paranormal investigator. She's h.horns paranormal on Instagram, and she does all of the Melbourne sites. And she was a great guide. She also brought her own equipment because they didn't give her enough equipment. She was sharing it with people because it wasn't just a tour. It was we get equipment, we go to separate rooms in the house, and we phasmophobia. Like we hunt them.
Yeah.
And we actually, I made friends with a girl there, so I took some footage of her answering questions about like has she been on a ghost hunt before, and it was
Totally
great.
random stranger.
Random stranger, like great energy. We got along. So they ended up joining us on one of our. We walked off to get some equipment, and they joined us because they lost their friends. And I was pulling tarot cards because apparently I'm a witch. Anyway, pulling tarot cards to talk to the ghost whenever an EMF would go off on a card. We were saying that was it. Anyway, the ghost was pretty quiet. Suddenly, like the room was a little bit cold, and then blood was gushing from her nose. And we're like, "What the heck?" And she goes, "I gotta go." Like, I gotta go. And then Frog walks off with her to help her go get sorted out. And like, she wanted to show the ghost to a lady to be like, "Look at my face." So as she left, I finally got a reading of a card. I pulled it out, and it was the horse card. And then suddenly, apparently, at the same time, she had the instinct to go to the stables to find people.
Horse ghost confirmed. It was a horse ghost. Yeah.
It was a famous stable that had horses with a Caulfield Cup and things like that, and a horse stud. So we were saying that a ghost horse kicked her in the face.
That's what I was going to say.
That's what I was saying. But it was weird because she had the instinct to go to the stables while she was bleeding. And
it was a surreal experience. Like, and a part of it was like we talked about this sort of stuff and go, oh, it's a bit silly. People talk about some weird things, and
when you're there.
But then when you're there, and also the way that it all went down was weirdly comfortable. Like we're in phasmophobia mode, and so she give us a sign, turn on the lights.
See, because we did a phasmophobia stream.
Yes.
And we need to get you in next time. And also, on top of that, quarter note, the thing that when you told me that, I was like, now I genuinely want to do that. Because I figured at the beginning of the story, and I think I said this on stream whilst I was on mute, I'm like, well, it just has to be at one place. Do you guys want to see a video there?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, yes, we want to see you do a real phasmophobia video. And I'm like, okay, sick.
So do you want to hear the good news then?
And then,
So the video went up, and I didn't tag anyone or anything. And the paranormal investigator found us. And she messaged me. She's like, hey, if you want to go to some really cooked areas and like hunt ghosts for real, let me know. I'm down.
And she's like, next time, I didn't know you were recording, but like next time, if I had known, like I would have given you more time and taken you to worse places. I'm like, oh, hell yes. Like scarier.
Pick me.
Do you know how many people were down for it though?
Yeah, I absolutely would love
to. If you want to hang out with us in the middle of the night in the middle of nowhere.
I'm absolutely
So we're
going
to do a ghost hunting show. That's the... No.
But I feel like this is part of content creation, right? Is that we're getting the message out there. We're normalizing certain events. So, for example, you guys went ghost hunting and you've created so much content about it and gathered and garnered more interest in it, much like another content creator over in the States that I'm aware of, D-Tune. He does a lot of that as well, is ghost hunting. And it's sort of like popularizing it.
It's that gamer to ghost hunter pipeline.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to... There's a word that I'm not a big fan of, but it's influencer work.
Oh, yeah, you hate that word.
We're influencing people to sign up on ghost hunts without even trying, really.
Yeah.
Because the amount of people were like, hey, you can do this. And it was pretty cool. And they're like, oh, well, I want to do that. It's like... And we went and made a whole thing of it, obviously, but you could just go and hang out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what most people do when they go to those things. Most people aren't recording every second of what they're doing.
We're trying to aggravate the ghosts,
Yeah.
So get out of here, come here.
Then there was a ghost called the Meat Keeper.
That was my favorite.
That was your favorite ghost, and they said that it was like somebody who handled all the meat products on the farm and whatever. So then you went into Baldur's Gate and you made a Meat Keeper character who wielded two salamis as weapons.
Doesn't it just sound like someone out of Baldur's Gate anyway?
It does sound like somebody out of Baldur's Gate.
The Meat Keeper.
The Meat Keeper.
But it's I'll tell you, and we'll get off this topic in a second, but I just want to tell you the one story that we got told. It's not on the video or anything like that, but it's just like the one that stuck in my mind. I'm like, nah, that's too much.
Yeah.
And they're like, this land. First of all, it's during the day. It's just a park. You can go hang out. People hang out. People have weddings there, and people have said that ghosts have turned up to their weddings
and screamed at them.
And it
was probably the Meat Keeper, apparently.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And like soldiers and stuff, like you'd see them like just turning up, and like they just see him as a human.
Because they formerly used that area as a base during the World War. World War One. I think it was.
So when after all the wars and stuff like that, they're just like government land, cool, with buildings on it, cool. We'll put an office in, and they had like a cafe which was like across the park as well. And I was telling this story about how the girl that was in the office, she was working late one night, and she heard someone breaking into the building. So she's like locked herself in the office and she's like hearing people smashing windows and stuff. And she calls the cafe. He's like, you got to help me. I'm getting broken into. And the cafe's like, no, you got to help me.
Yeah.
We're getting broken into as well. And they're hearing the same thing, but like hundreds of meters apart.
Oh.
And then when the cops turned up, nothing. There was no broken nothing.
In
no
either
nothing.
store.
And then they quit.
And then they quit and moved the out of there. They left immediately.
Chills.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe they just wanted jobs. Maybe they just want to get hired. The economy,
is
man.
tough, man.
You know, the funny thing was, because we were talking about all this stuff, and I was talking about it on stream, and some kid came in, he just broke my mind, because I was talking about we're going to go hunting for ghosts and stuff like that, and he goes, where's the dinosaur ghosts? Where's all the ghosts for the dinosaurs that died?
They're the petrol in your car.
I mean, I know.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's
We've
the
sort
truth.
of
They weren't a part of the Ghost DLC. I'm so sorry. We couldn't
we've
add
sort
them
of
in.
discussed like our views on that sort of stuff and like if there is a ghost, what is a ghost and why are they there or whatever. And I was like, well, maybe to me a ghost is like actually not necessarily a ghost of a person who's passed, but maybe like a ghost of a traumatic event that's existing still in the world. Because I think that's a really interesting idea. Because
So then there should be heaps of dinosaur ghosts.
Yeah, I feel like-
complaining about an asteroid.
who knows? But yeah, it's just something that I think about a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely a wild experience.
Yeah.
Speaking of wild experiences, bringing it back to PAX, we want to talk about some wild experiences at PAX. Has anyone had anything great? I know Aaron's already talked about the fact he just high-vis shirts his way into everything.
In literally every situation ever. PAX centered, I'm not too sure. It was a very eventful last year. I remember particularly as well because that's when I joined the team that I'm with, Prevail.
Yep.
And I was just like being brought everywhere. There was like after party to like, hey, let's go to GG Easy Bar, let's go to Fortress, let's go to this, let's go to that.
GG.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, GG. But like, it was one of those things where it's like, I think simply being that guy with the afro just helped. Also, you know what else helps? The fact that I'm just tall.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so unfair for giveaways, right? Because I don't feel like I should even
You
reach
just
into this
hovering
guy.
over.
Well, the thing is, I'm an ex-basketball, volleyball player in other
Oh, that
sports, so
explains
it's
so
just
much.
like if somebody throws something, I'm just
Yeah.
mine. And it's like, okay, so now I have to give it to somebody else so that I'm not like
The shortest
ass.
person, obviously. The one that you reached over and stole their prize.
I'm actually like sort of experiencing a thing with the hair because I just dyed my hair like yesterday.
We can spot you now. Yeah.
Everyone can see me, but also people now recognize me and coming up to me I know we were at the same event last year, but now they're finally coming up to me because they found me now.
It's kind of
They
why I
can
wear
see
the
me.
hat, to be honest.
Yeah, your hat is your branding.
Like if I take the hat off, people go, who are you?
So that's gonna be the funny thing for me. I'm like, if I come now to PAX tomorrow,
Yeah.
and I do dreadlock my hair,
Yeah.
Who are you?
Who are you?
I feel like people won't notice me. Like they'll have to double check and be like, oh, you kind of.
This
No, that's not
has
Aaron.
been my complaint with cosplayers. They're like, oh, you haven't said hello to me. I'm like, I don't know who you are.
They shapeshift.
Yeah, shapeshifters.
No, cosplayers are shapeshifters, and you can't convince me otherwise. All right.
100%.
so
I agree.
talented.
Like
They're
I
so
have
cool.
literally like DM'd them and been like, hey, we're at the same event today. I don't know you were there. I still don't know if you were there. You have to say hello to me because I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Well, I think you see that's the benefit of me and the whole shooting your shot thing. I always say hi to everybody. Like if somebody looks at me for 2 seconds, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna run to you and go, "What's up? Hello!" Like I'm a golden
That's your
retriever.
friend now.
Yeah.
But literally, if you're friend shaped, you're now my friend. We're having soft tacos later. But and then
I'm down.
The thing is now, like it's to the degree that I've actually done that at other conventions. And it's kind of like the same story I told you earlier when we were getting coffee.
Yeah.
Where my friends were like, "Oh my God, look at that cosplayer over there!" And this was at PAX last year, and I finally turned around after they convinced me to look at this cosplayer, and I noticed it's my friend from university. So I just scream out to her. I'm just like, "Oh my God, Shez, what's up?" And they're like, "What are you doing?" And then Shez turns around and goes, "Oh my God, Aaron, hello," and runs to me. And
I actually had a similar thing happen recently. I went to the premiere for The Nun 2, and they had this whole setup where, like, as you come in, you get blessed by the priest who's going to, keep
get a
protected.
rosary,
Got rosaries and
you know,
everything.
yeah.
Anyway, the priest was a friend of mine from high school that I haven't seen in about 15 years, and because he was in character, we couldn't catch up or stuff. I'm just giggling as he's giving me the rosaries. I'm just giggling.
Mind you, he went to school in the middle of nowhere, and they ended up at the same spot.
We worked together. I gave him a job.
Yeah.
in high school. Like he's a song and dance man. So Like you'd no doubt you'll see him eventually, but it was such a weird thing where I'm going to this very small kind of media event, and he's there and he has to bless me. So hey man, thanks for the blessing. I shot him a message afterwards. Hey man, it's good to see you. Good to see you fucking working hard and doing that. So that was good. Yeah, but it's so weird. It's just like small world.
If you see somebody that's cosplaying and staying in character, I know personally for me, I then will go into character with them and just roleplay with them because 2 years of Grand Theft Auto 5 roleplay has taught me that nothing is impossible for me. Okay, I'm gonna put on a voice and I'm gonna go into character and I'm gonna pretend that I'm somebody else.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that where you've seen a cosplayer that's in character, so you've tried to go in character as somebody else and talk to them?
I was a cosplayer.
Yeah,
I cosplayed for many years, for around 2012, and I was cosplaying primarily. This is embarrassing because it has a bad reputation, but the comic Homestuck back in the day, when everyone was like wearing grey paint and dressed with alien horns and stuff like that, and I was cosplaying all the time, and I took it very seriously. Like I was very cringe and took it so seriously. Like not saying that anyone else is cringe, but me specifically.
Yeah,
I'd like to say right. You have to embrace the cringe.
Yes.
Because that's kind of the point.
I am cringe, but I am free.
To sort of Aaron's point, you get those people that'll be like, hey, shake hands in character. Those.
Yeah,
kind of
I love
people.
those videos.
And it's like, man, I'm not that good. I'm not, like, I don't think I can match that energy.
I know for a fact if any Valorant cosplayers talk to me, I am going to do a Phoenix voice and I'm just going to pretend like I'm Phoenix, even though I'm not in the cosplay.
I definitely know there's Valorant cosplayers around.
It's definitely Valorant.
Definitely.
I just I used to get up on stage and for the cosplay competitions and stuff because I used to enter those. Even though my cosplay, I probably shouldn't have been for the level I was. But no, I would actually just go fully in character and act like that all day. Pretty much. Yeah.
For many years, I was a member of the 501st Legion, which is
excellent. Yeah.
So the Star Wars costuming group, cosplay group. I actually have a head-to-toe full Scout Trooper.
Ooh.
Awesome. That's cool.
Oh my god, your tattoo! Right? I just noticed you got a
Star Wars tattoo.
Star Wars tattoo.
Yeah. So I actually have the helmet on display behind me in my office.
Yeah.
But for handshakes, it's very, very easy. You just miss. People go to reach and you're like, oh.
That's Stormtrooper humor.
Yeah, that's it. But it's Scout Trooper, actually, which...
But Scout Trooper's hit, right? Oh, no, wait.
No, not according to... Was it Mandalorian, I think?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they missed as well, and yeah.
Actually, probably should be better. Now that you put me onto the role-playing, I probably should be better at it because I'm a VTuber and I have a character. But I also am not a VTuber who's fully lore-friendly and that character all the time. I'm myself and I'm obviously physically here. But I'm like
we should actually talk about some panels and stuff. And because this is a great segue into our VTuber panel that we're doing, which for everyone who's not aware, the way it worked was we were at DreamHack, heap of VTubers are like, man, there's nothing for us here.
Really?
There's no inclusion for VTubers.
It's
how
a
can
huge disconnect.
Short of putting an iPad on a Segway and sending it into the event, it's like, what can you do?
Particularly in the Australian VTuber community, there's a huge disconnection. There's not a lot of community or people who know each other locally, except I found in Team OC as we've slowly gathered there. But a lot of people, who are VTubers might stream completely outside of their time zone anyway because they want to interact more with the American communities.
And that's what I wanted to say, right? When I went to TwitchCon last year, San Diego, there were like a quarter of the convention center was VTubers.
Because it's huge, right?
It's massive.
But it's not that big in Australia, and we've got to make it bigger.
It is. And this is the thing, right?
Well, we've got to gather them.
As soon as the task was set and I said the stupid words of, I can do that. I went on the hunt for VTubers, and Australia has some huge talent. They're just not
We're
connected.
not talking.
You're not connected.
We don't know each other.
And so we went through and we picked up Shelby, and we got Sassy and Ellie, who are all Team OCE. And then I said to Shelby, we need some diversity.
We need a man.
We need a man.
We need a boy.
We need someone interesting.
I was like, I know an interesting boy.
Vernon Crow is a vampire who's stuck in the 90s. So that's when he was,
He loves 90s
That's when
culture.
he was bitten and turned into a vampire. And when he streams, he's playing Wii games and weird emulators and stuff like that. And he's in character, essentially.
He's awesome. A great voice actor, too.
Good.
He does a great, ominous vampire voice from a 90s anime sort of vibe.
So that was cool. And then Pax actually reached out and said, we've got other VTubers who are asking about a panel. And we picked up Akari, who's a dragon VTuber.
She's a Twitch partner.
And just a degen, like a crazy degen. Just talking
absolutely.
Warframe. Whatever goes into her brain comes out her mouth. There's no filter. And it's just so entertaining, some of the things she says. And you just go, what?
So now we've got all those. And then we've also got a bunch of VTubers who've signed on to give us a little clip of themselves for the introduction video. So even widening
so we reached out and I'm like, okay, well, we've got this crew. Feels bad that we're not including the greater community.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the point, right? So then we asked all these people to nominate their favorite VTubers, and a heap of people did. And I reached out to so many, and so many people don't check their DMs, but that's a separate story. But the ones that did come back, some of them were amazing. And like some of them I'm such good friends with now. Because I was like looking at the content and I kept going, Shelby, look at this, it's a jellyfish. Look at this,
it's a
jellyfish person. Who's like, and they do like an art day where people just draw art and show their projects and stuff. It's so wholesome, it's so awesome.
I brought in one of my friends who I met just randomly in the Twitch category that I was streaming in, so Shadows of Doubt, which is a great game. And he's a VTuber weatherman. And he's just a 3D VTuber like me, but he's a weatherman, and he's got the best voice and everything. He's completely incognito. He's just his character, and he's also provided an intro video as well. And
an excellent intro video.
So good. Yeah. He's probably the best one in my opinion. And just really happy to have people
we ended up with 5 VTubers plus 9 cameos.
That's awesome.
And like just the amount of VTubers that I've met and seen, and they were all Australians. And Aaron actually put me onto a few of them. So like.
Hey.
You actually nominated Jaden.
Yes.
Jaden didn't have his DMs open, so slap him.
My bad.
But he did have an email. So he was one of the few that I emailed and actually replied back like, yep, absolutely, I'm down. Did all the work, got the submission, everything else in. And then next thing you know, he's in Team OCE. He's fucking knocking everyone's doors down. And he's like, oh, yeah, I want to be in the team, blah, blah, blah. And then like he sped run that application.
I'm not shocked. Jaden, when he puts his mind to something, similar to myself, which is I think why we get along, we just absolutely send
very
it
driven.
into that thing. Yeah. And he's one of the streamers that I could like really highly recommend just in general because he puts in the work. Like he really puts in the work when there's something that needs to be done.
Yeah, just crazy high energy, just crazy work ethic. He's
immediately
in there
became
streaming.
part of the family.
Yeah. Just moved himself in really.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad.
I think the fun thing about the panel is that the fact is, there's a lot of VTubers who are incognito and there's a lot of VTubers who are attending. So there's going to be a lot of people in the audience and we're going to be like, oh yeah, and there's some of you out there who are already VTubers, but maybe the people around you don't know, and the secret ones that are attending is their flesh tubers for the first time.
It's like, there could be VTubers among you now. You wouldn't know. That's kind of the point. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. That's at 5 p.m. on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Before that, and the much easier the panel, sorry Aaron, but Aaron's panel of the Guide to Collaboration, basically DreamHack Part 2.
How to be friends.
How to be friends. Yeah. Well, I think the important thing is, and like there's been a bit of conversations like, hey, but I don't really collaborate on streams and stuff like that. Collaboration is outside of streams.
You see, that was, and this came up in conversation. We'll talk about this tomorrow at the panel as well. But it came up in conversation when we were talking in our group chat, because obviously, first thing you want to do if you're doing a collaboration panel is to set a group chat so everyone can talk to each other and collaborate. And I remember a conversation coming up. Hey, I don't do that many collaborations on stream. I'm not sure what I can bring to the table. I'm like, I've thought it all through. It's okay because we're lot of the people on the panel
collaborating on a panel.
Exactly. y'all are doing panels, and even if it's not on stream, the amount of especially with Pastor Scar, he was one of the people that mentioned it as well.
Yeah.
He's been a youth pastor. He literally has generated and created communities multiple times over outside of streaming.
Yep.
And I'm like, that is exactly what we're going to be talking about and covering. It's going to be how do you go from baseline nothing to making an entire community and being able to work with it.
And he controls his community very well. I've spoken to him about it and how he, obviously, because he's a youth pastor, he has a lot of kids who come and watch his stream, and how he has working with children's checks for all of his team members, and he really builds a community.
That's really
such a passionate and such a lovely man, and keen to hear more from him.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I think it's going to be a really good panel. And my favourite thing about it is it's the most diverse cast of any panel here at PAX. We all have a different style, community, games, everything.
Background, yeah.
That's why I was really excited for it, because I was like, look, as much as I could just invite a bunch of Prevail members and just have a general conversation, I think it does help, especially when you're going to something like this where people are literally flying out from out of
Literally
state.
the first thing we said, you're at PAX. Use all these creators.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, it's better to be able to collab with people outside of your space so that there's going to be more to put into the conversation.
I think what's cool as well with your panel is you're also, you've got people of diverse gender identities. You've also got people who are neurodivergent as well on your panel, which I think neurodiversity is something that is well represented in the content creation community as a whole, but is not often put into collaborating, because there's a different approach to collaborating when you are neurodivergent and, maybe trying to work around each other and find the best way to make friends.
So I think that's going to be a good panel. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
1 p.m.?
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Saturday.
1 p.m. Saturday.
Fruit bat. theatre.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good one, and I'm just excited to keep hanging out with this crew that we've formed and kept on.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, now I just got to hang out with you even more.
You went to the collaboration panel. Now we have to collaborate. That's how it works.
Well, I mean, the whole plan was like, and this is why I reached out again a couple of months ago to like Al Demo and you and all that, because I was like, we're doing a collaboration panel together. We kind of need to collaborate beforehand. So
I do love our conversation. It was, hey, we should collaborate. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. Have you got Game Pass? Like, no, I haven't got it, but I can get it. I'm like, do you have Faz? You're like, yeah, I love Faz. Done.
Done. There you go. We're in.
And I was like, I'll bring Shelby. All right, I'm in.
It's just so easy. But so we do have to be mindful of time. We have to wrap things up. But let's do a quick around the table. What are you looking forward to the most? For me, I'm looking forward to not stuffing up the VTuber panel. That'll be great if we can get through that.
I'm the
Fingers
one
crossed,
behind the
touch
tech
wood.
solution for that. So
I was told of your
me.
heroism in figuring it out.
We definitely
Thank
weren't
you so
working on
much.
it last night after coming.
No,
in
it
from
was
the bar.
it was just a sanity check for having 5 devices plugged in at a time for screen recording. Because basically how it's working is we are doing all of our motion capture on our phones because each VTubing app has its own phone component, and then we're also then screencasting them on a really shady software that was made in China for click farm, so it can generate 128 phones at a time in one software.
It's gonna
so
work.
we're going balls to the wall weird with
gonna
the
work.
setup, and it's going to work. I'm going to make it work. If it doesn't work, I'm going to cry, and nobody will ever see me again. I'll disappear.
She'll be a flesh
I'll change
tuber.
my identity. I'll be a flesh tuber. But there's a lot of pressure there. So I'm excited for that to be over. But
Okay.
I'm excited in general for the Pax Gala, the Fortress Pax Gala, because I bought a pretty dress, so it look cute.
So, yeah.
And just in general to see everyone, especially now that people can notice me because I got the pink hair and they're like, oh my God, it's you. Hi.
I'm so sad that I don't think I'm gonna make it in.
No.
I don't know. I didn't buy it.
You can't high vis your way in.
Look, I haven't tried. Maybe I go and try high vis my way in. I haven't bought a ticket though, so we'll see what ends up happening with that. Look, honestly, socializing. Like I love all the stuff going on, but I think I'm gonna be running over to the Twitch booth and then I'm gonna run to like some of the tech booths and stuff like that, and I'm just gonna be talking to cosplayers the majority of the time
Hell yeah.
because that is
In character, role playing with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Logan, what are you excited for?
Much the same, socializing. I got Fortress Gala tickets as well. So
I've seen your dance moves too. So.
Oh, you saw them last night?
Oh,
Yeah.
you were tearing it up.
So I'm looking forward to busting them out again.
Yeah.
But definitely, as we've mentioned a few times so far, this is a once-a-year opportunity where every friend and content creator, because we've got to remember that a lot of these people are our friends as well.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
you get the opportunity to catch up, go to a cafe, be here, just enjoying, common nerdisms and geekeries. And
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
This is
all
Game of
for it.
Christmas.
Yeah.
It's Game of Christmas, and it's the Game of Pilgrimage because everyone comes to Melbourne for this. Because obviously there's DreamHack and TGX as well, but not as many people come down for that.
Yeah, exactly.
PAX is the event, and
Yeah,
exciting.
100%. All right, well, we do need to wrap things up, so let's just go around quickly. Plug, where can people find you, Shelby?
Shellbunny _ on Twitter and Instagram, which is where I'm posting a lot of my PAX content. And you can find me, Shellbunny, on Twitch. We've been streaming a lot of Cyberpunk lately and Starfield. Going crazy with that. Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet. You guys are going to catch me on Twitch, usually 3 days a week. I go by twitch.tv/MDVaaron. Otherwise, I am really active on my Instagram, so if you want to find that, it's MDV_main.
Awesome. LHP 64D on any and all platforms. I stream Twitch 4 days a week. World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14, and a bunch of variety.
Oh, yeah. Love that variety. And I'm obviously ZombiesLvBacon. I'm everywhere, and we do all sorts of stuff. I think we're going to play some games, but also we've got some other cool projects and stuff coming up. We basically just want to survive PAX. So everyone stay safe and look after yourselves. Make sure you hydrate. Make sure you caffeinate. Make sure you do whatever you need to do to survive the weekend.
And look out for your buddies.
That's
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Look out for your friends. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Big thanks to Audio-Technica for putting us in the booth, and
Absolutely.
also to
Thank you.
Sonic Brew, Mecha Sonic Brew, for giving us coffee and
Caffeinating us.
caffeinating us.
Beautiful.
All right. Good stuff. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Catch everyone.